Hello, hello. Welcome to Healthy Happy Hour. I'm really missing the crowd here. The 20 people that we had a year ago here at the Fit Lab, which was the old Fit Lab on Professional Drive, which was kind of the best way to say it, the beginning of the evolution. So, as you may know, I've kind of dedicated my life, and by kind of means I have dedicated my life into becoming a better version of myself. And who gives a crap about Jim, right? It's all about me. And I get that. Now, it's not about me creating a better version of myself. It really is about you creating a better version of yourself. The information that we bring you here is all about that. How can you become a better version of yourself? Are you better today than when you woke up this morning? Are you better yesterday than you were the day before? And are you going in a direction where by the end of this year, you're going to look back and say, holy geez, I have changed so much in a positive way. Now, positivity breeds positivity, of course. And the more positive you are, the better you do at being you. That energy of the gratitude and just going for it each and every day is contagious in a good way. This is where we can actually say being contagious is good. Being contagious of gratitude is good. More gratitude begets more gratitude. More happiness begets more happiness. More success breeds more success. And isn't that what we all want? We just want to be successful in whatever it is that we're doing. Hopefully, we're all just trying our best. I can say that for certain. I'm really just trying my best. I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect. As much as everyone likes to joke around and say, yep, Jim's perfect, loves to tell everybody what to do. In reality, I've obviously made mistakes in my life. But we can either harp and dwell on these things and beat others up for these things, or we can lift them up, help them become better versions of themselves, give them the opportunities that they deserve. Because you know what? At the end of the day, you may actually become a better version of yourself because of that work that you put in with them. I digress. Today, we're going to go back on fermentation one-on-one. So what exactly is fermentation? And before you click off, this is actually can be a fun topic. You like sauerkraut? Don't be the outlier and like, I don't like sauerkraut. Come on, get a hot dog. It's amazing. You put on some sauerkraut, you put on some mustard, you twist it a little bit. Oh my goodness, bet you go over to Yankee Stadium, you cannot have less than 12. And then the little burps that come up afterward, you're hitting at least 50 hot dogs a day. So sauerkraut, for instance, is an example of fermented food. Fermentation is actually the process of breaking down an organic substance by introducing either yeast or bacteria. And when fermentation happens in your body, it's part of a process that produces chemical changes through the actions of enzymes. In biochemistry, fun topic, I think it's a lot of fun, seriously. Fermentation is defined as the extraction of energy from carbohydrates in the absence of oxygen. So how exactly does it work? So microorganisms, little teeny tiny organisms, survive by using carbohydrates you eat, whether it be in sugar or glucose for energy and fuel. Every time I want to show the glucose monitor here, it's being covered up. I definitely got to start showing some of my results here, and I'll do that for you. So the process breaks down sugar into acid and alcohol, making nutritious and preserving it to be stored for longer without spoiling. This breakdown process provides foods with the enzymes required for digestion. Essentially, when food is fermented, it's broken down, similar to the way it happens in your gut before anyone's even consumed it, which is pretty cool. So it's like pre-digestion, if you will. Since the dawn of time, or the Neolithic age to be more specific, people have been fermenting foods way before anyone understood the benefits of the fermentation process. Some common foods, we got sourdough bread, wine, cheese, kombucha, sauerkraut, kimchi. All these things are different ways of consuming foods that we've allowed bacteria to get at it ahead of time. It's always kind of funny when I think back to being a little kid. My mom would make sure everything was in the fridge. If something was going bad, orange juice, for instance, I love this example. When orange juice was going bad, it tasted miraculously like a screwdriver. Now, I had no idea what that was back in the day, but my mom would smell it or taste it and say, oh, it's gross, and dump it out and throw it out. Nowadays, you get into undergrad, and college students are trying to find ways to ferment their orange juice. We've realized that fermenting foods is not necessarily a bad thing. I'm not saying go out and drink vodka orange juice, but with these other kombucha, delicious. Can be very good for you as well. Just watch that sugar content. Make sure that the sugar's actually been broken down first. The type of fermentation happens when yeast strains and bacteria convert starches or sugars into lactic acid. And lactic acid bacteria are vital to producing inexpensive, wholesome food, which has been extremely important for feeding impoverished cultures. There's a lot of cultures that actually eat fermented meats, which will clear up any type of viral or bacterial infection that they may be going under at that time. And how does that happen? In our bodies, we literally have, you name a virus, you name a bacteria, it's in our bodies already. It's all about spacing. If there's too much E. coli going on, it gets out of control, guess what? Well, your body comes down with E. coli, too much strep or staph. We get out of this nice control, and you come down with a very severe infection. Even that type of infection, I don't want to even say the name, that gives you 20% of colds, and a lot of people are getting diagnosed with a common cold. You know what I'm talking about. The cove gets out of control a little bit, and it pops up. Not the end of the world, not a huge deal. We just need to get our flora, our bacterias, viruses, fungus that are within our body already, that are going to be there forever and ever, back into control, into neat orders, if you would. So if we take starches and sugars from grains and ferment it into sour tasting vinegar and condiments, we can make things such as apple cider vinegar, wine vinegar, and I'm going to keep on harping on the kombucha. What is the difference really between probiotics and a fermented food? Both actually play a role in healthy digestion, but they're not exactly quite the same thing. See, probiotics are defined as the good bacteria in our gastrointestinal tract, the GI tract. In order to be called a probiotic, the food or supplement has to yield a benefit to the person consuming it. So just because you're consuming it doesn't mean that it's actually pro. It's not actually doing what you're hoping for it to do. Fermented foods, though, are not as regulated. They don't have to meet any standards and can contain both good and bad bacteria. Again, if you're eating both of them, one's going to cancel the other out. The bottom line is this: including fermented foods in your diet is not the same as taking probiotics. So have you ever taken a probiotic? A lot of people have. I keep hearing some people, they've got to, Christine, they've got to be eating their yogurt in the morning because they like it and it's full of probiotics. Now let me ask you this. Is that yogurt that you're consuming in the morning, is that pasteurized? Because if it's pasteurized, it's heated up to kill all bacteria. So that so-called probiotic that's not actually doing anything good for you anymore, not necessarily that probiotic at this point anymore, it's dead. It's just lying there. It's doing you no good. So in essence, you're eating a little dessert for breakfast. It is what it is. Sorry, be the outlier. Maybe you're different, but the majority of us, yogurt in the morning is not exactly the go-to. Great advertising, though. I will give them that. They do an amazing job advertising. True yogurt should be extremely sour. That's why so much sugar and fruit and everything is added to it. If you're going to have extremely sour yogurt, chances are that is going to cause you far better benefit than the Dannon with probiotics that they're really not probiotics in there at that point anymore. Your microbiome is like a rainforest. Multiple species of bacteria, yeast, and enzymes are all living together. When you have a healthy balance of all these yeast, bacterias, enzymes in your gut fermented foods are fine to eat because they feed the majority of the good bacteria and the yeast. Now, health benefits of probiotic-rich fermented foods can enhance the gut biome by improving digestion and boosting the immune system. Why is this? Because the fermentation process creates an environment that allows certain good bacteria to multiply quickly. This process produces enzymes, and along with prebiotics, it feeds the probiotics that already exist in your gut, the good bacteria, and it makes them actually stronger. Remember, it's not for everyone, though. If you have an imbalanced gut, we should probably balance this out a little bit, right? It's like if you're standing on one foot over a skyrise, if you're not balanced, you're going to fall. Remember, your gut is your third brain. It's actually like a third and fourth brain. You got your gut and you got the bacteria in the gut that's telling everything what to do all the way up to your brain. So your decisions that you're making in life may not be the best decisions if your gut's not in balance. This is truth. Why would I say it if it was not? If you have an imbalanced gut, the fermented foods can feed the bad bacteria, creating an overpopulation, causing more problems. So not only will fermented foods help your digestive tract, but they can improve your mental health and well-being too. Remember, your gut and brain, as I just said, have a symbiotic relationship. It's called the gut-brain axis. 90% of our serotonin, the happiness hormone, comes from your gut. Happy gut, happy brain, happy you. All about balance. So, tips for grocery shopping here. When choosing pickled fermented veggies at the store, make sure the jar on the package says raw and unpasteurized or lacto-fermented. That way you know the good bacteria are still alive and ready to populate your gut. Remember that example of the yogurt I was just talking about? That's not raw and unpasteurized. You can make some everyone wants to beat me up with the name of this here. Please, take pity on me. Kombucha, also known as booch. This can be very delicious. It's made from, it's called a SCOBY, also known as a symbiotic colony of bacteria and yeast, a SCOBY. It's mixed with typically a sweet tea. It's been around for over 2,000 years, so it's stood the test of time, and it's beloved for vitamins, probiotic bacteria, and a nice tangy flavor. It's a really, really easy thing to do. You can actually get a SCOBY right on Amazon. Very simple to do. It's going to last you pretty much forever. If you want to make your own fermented veggies, one, test for success. If you ain't testing, you're guessing. Are the veggies good for you? How does your body break it down? But say that you're not doing any of this testing here. You're just going and saying veggies are good. I don't know if they're good for you or not. But pickling and fermenting are sometimes confused with each other. And it's actually, they're distinctly different. The pickling process preserves food in a brine, salty or salt water like vinegar. The lacto-fermentation process preserves foods with bacteria without the use of milk. I can actually put up some recipes for you if you're interested. Reach out to me so I don't waste my time and where nobody sees it and follows it. But if you'd like to, just reach out. I'd be more than happy. Sauerkraut, amazing. It's great on hot dogs, sandwiches. Without the go to Dr. Brandon's bread. His bread is actually really, really good. You got miso. That can be very good in some miso soup. Beet kvass, very delicious. A lot of the foods that we try to stay away from are called Fodmaps. Fermentable oligosaccharides, disaccharides, monosaccharides, and polyols. This is referring to carbohydrates that are fermented more than the gut can digest it, and therefore cause rapid digestion. Fodmap foods are foods that are great for gas. Nobody likes gas. And if you're having gas that is occurring in you more often than not, you're not breaking down the foods. So that should be a sign to you to be saying, no, yeah, smack the nose, no. Fodmap foods can make the symptoms that you're experiencing worse. So if you have a gut issue, try to limit your actual intake of fermented foods. Just because I'm talking about them doesn't mean that I'm saying, hey, these are the miracle foods. Remember, we have to have a balanced gut going on here for you to reap the benefits. Otherwise, you can get very sick. That's a lot in a short period of time. That's a lot in a little nutshell, isn't it? As always, I want to thank you for being with me and listening to me here. I want to actually we're going to start nixing Fun Fridays. I want to bring you better content. Shantae will be here with me on some healthy happy hours. I want to see what exactly it is that you enjoy, what you like to see more of. So please give me the feedback. Let me know what it is. And if you're listening to this on any podcast player going, please do yourself a huge favor. The more positive reviews that we actually get on the Functionize podcast, the more listeners can hear it. And the more listeners that can hear it, the more it's going to benefit you. I can upgrade and improve quality of sound, improve quality of video, and get some better quality things to you. Not that the quality is not already pretty amazing coming at you here. Tell me if you had not heard of all those things that I just talked about in the last 15 minutes on Fermentation 101. That's just a 101. I mean, we can get far, far, far more in depth. Before I part for now, as always, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. You don't have to be here, but you are. And it means a great deal to me that you are. Also take home this, that we are special, but we're not special. And I say that meaning pretend you're not special. Treat those around you with the specialness and the respect that everyone deserves. And it's not just during this holiday season. This is all the time. It's an all year round thing. You never know what positive impact you may be making in someone's life today. Reach out, make that impact, and live a truly functionized life. Again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you being here with me today. Your mad scientist, Jim, as once again, on a Tuesday, I am out. Live functionized.